everybody. This is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com, and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. What's going on, everybody? I had to change offices. I've got my daughter living, just moved in, and we had to move some people around, so I am now in a different room. It'll be a while before I kind of get set up and have my some background and whatever. But anyway, I'm just chilling here doing a video for today. Just a quick reminder, my home base is at cryptoinfluencers.com, and this is where you find the free channel right here. And the pro channel is here in case you would like to know how to get ahead of some of these things and kind of how to manage risk and stuff like that. So, and then Wednesday, we do a live stream at 12:30, 12:35, somewhere in there usually. So that is, so that'll come up later this week. All right, let's talk about our bull trap. We were speculating whether it was a bull trap or not when we were here. And it's looking a lot like a bull trap. This candle today is pretty much confirmation. We had a nice move up, and the problem with the structure was that we moved back into a range that we should not have been in. So because of that, we knew that there was a change in sentiment, there was a change in direction. Things were not business as usual. And when that happens, we need to be very aware of changes in the market. And so I put a sell order right at the bottom, right up here, right at the bottom of this pullback here. And look at that. This ended up being the absolute perfect spot to start a short. So this is beautiful. We pretty much called this guy to a T. And you'll notice that there is a yellow color on the background of our day. This candle closes in 2.5 hours. If it closes below 28,136, we will be flipping from green to yellow. And if you haven't seen a few of my videos, you should go back and watch the most recent handful, because we've talked at length about the repercussions of going from green zone to yellow zone. And the average is about 15%. That our initial drop is within about 15%. So let me grab my, all right, I've got kind of things in a weird spot, so I'm having a hard time seeing. But if I start at 28,135, somewhere in there, and we just take this down, and we're looking at the drop of 10%. That's kind of that'll be probably the best case scenario, that we drop 10%. 10% is sitting right here, 25,300. So if we wick down to 25,300 and then come back and find support on the 200, the 200's sitting around 26. So this would be pretty much our best case scenario. We would likely find some resistance back in these levels here. This line here is there for a reason, and losing this line means that some things are broken. So that is one option, is about a 10%. The average is about 15%. That would take us down to about 24. And there are a lot of reasons on the monthly or the weekly why 24 is a reasonable target. And then if we had a full meltdown and hit 20 or something like that, that would be pretty significant. But we would find support on the 50-week moving average, which would be pretty solid. That would be a great place to turn around. I don't believe we're going to hit 20. I don't think we're going to be down in 20,000 land. I just don't think that's just in the cards yet. I still think there's probably one more pump to go, and then we can kind of chill sideways or oscillate for a while. But I can't tell you how at ease your mind is when you've got your shorts all lined up in this area on a chart that looks like this. So we're well ahead of the game, and definitely planning this correctly. What I do not know is how long the drop will be. I don't know how intense it will be. I don't know if it's just going to be, a little bit of a nothing burger, and then we just continue on our merry way. But this is the year of the chop. Things should go sideways. We have our bottom in, and we've never retested bottoms ever when we've left it. So generally our trading range should be between, I would give it about a 21.5 and a 35. And the reason being that the 100-week moving average has always been kind of my limit for the longer term trends. So even if we do get a little excited, we have a nice pullback, and then we strengthen up again, we could probably hit 34, 35. I think getting to 40 or something might be a little aggressive, but we'll see. We will read these charts as we get there. Right now, I'm not too worried about where we're headed as far as the upside goes. I'm more interested on what to expect on the downside. So those are a couple of things to look at. Ethereum is completing its head and shoulders pattern. If we get a close today at 1821, we will have completed our head and shoulders. This head and shoulders has a target, and it is 1500. Do I think we'll get there? That would be pretty rough. I have a hard time thinking we will. But if Bitcoin won't go down to its prior low, 14 is probably off the table. But this number is a potential, and that is 1500. So there is a rhyme and reason to everything, and it is possible that we get back here. Will we do anything down in the 1000 land or the 1200 land? I just don't see it. I don't think so. We're pulling up. We can get some support. We could find it at 17, but we could also find it at 16 or something like that. Lucky for us on Ethereum, we're well above our averages, and our 50 and our 200 are very, very low, and so there's plenty of room to run in this playground and still be on the upswing. So there's a lot going on here. A potential pullback on the weekly is 1681. So there's plenty of reason why we could, kind of pop up, come down, and do some oscillating and whatever, and still be in a pretty strong bullish pattern. But flipping from the green zone to the yellow zone on the daily is nothing to take lightly. And we left the green zone at 1851. We're at 1828 right now. In the next hour, 2.5 hours, will we recapture this? It's unlikely. There's a reason we crossed it, and even if we did pull back up to it, it would be pretty short-lived. So definitely on the path to breaking down. As far as Bitcoin goes, on the 50, normally if you're in a green zone and you're above the 50 and then you touch it, there's about a 7-day window that you will likely lose it. And we kind of did that research last week. And from our first touch to today is exactly 7 days. So this is average, that in 7 days we would break down. 5 days from our most recent touch. So we've been down here 5 days later. So this one's a little closer. There is, we could recapture it, but it just, I don't see strength here, especially after this move. Now the true drop zone will happen at 27,262 or below, because if we hit a new low, we have a high and we have a low. We've now officially got a lower high. If we get a lower low under here, it's going to be pretty much confirmation that there's something heading to the downside. So these are things that I am definitely paying attention to. On super short time frames, we've been in a, yeah, so the 5-minute chart, ever since we kind of had this dead cat bounce, this was our bull trap up here to almost 30, we've been pulling back. We exited green to yellow, and then we've been in a red zone, white, yellow, red, and this has been a pretty fat red zone. So there's probably some leveling off and things nearing the end of the day. But yeah, I would expect this to continue breaking down, 10 to 15%, and it should usually happen pretty fast. Well, the emotions of a bear market are way more intense than a bull market. It takes a lot of euphoria to get really vertical on a bull market, but usually the biggest drops will happen the fastest in a bear market. So if we see something pretty significant, pretty major moves down, we're going to know that we're about there. We don't have a lot of major moves in the most recent past. FTX is the biggest, and it was 10%, 15%. Yeah, if we see anything 15%, it's the move is over. So anyway, if we have a couple of days and then we start pulling back, we'll be watching that pretty closely, especially on the pro channel. 5% down here, almost 5, 6%. So most of these aren't moving very far. 5% here, and today we're working on a 4% so far. But yeah, this is going to scare a lot of people. It is very likely that emotions will get to a climax pretty fast once we start losing these lines. Okay, last week, not only did we close the weekly, but we also closed the monthly. So we're going to look at a couple of things. Weekly on Bitcoin, this weekly close, we did close slightly above the 50% mark. But yeah, I still feel like there's a pullback in the works. It's not super strong, but we did not get a handoff. Our handoff needs to happen at 25,000. If we pull back and get a handoff here, our structure is going to be really nice looking. We do want to cross wicks with these candles here, and we haven't done it yet. So this is our big chance. So if we can get it done this week or in 2 weeks, then we'll be ready for our next move. So I'm long-term bullish, but I'm just really setting up for a pullback just because this is the year of the chop. We're heading up and down. It's going to be volatile, and we're definitely at the upper range that we've been in for a very, very long time. This is a pretty strong move, and there's no reason why we can't take a break here. Monthly. If we look at the monthly, we got an indecision candle. This is not a reversal, it is indecision. So we could have gone either way. And so the market will kind of dictate what happens here. But from a monthly standpoint, our line is here. It's all the way down at 23,300. We had major resistance here. Resistance again, a full month of resistance. And then we finally broke out of it. This is a reversal candle, and it manifests by a pretty long tail on this month. And then we flipped around and had a pretty strong green candle. Now we're in indecision mode. Indecision mode after we've had 4 months of pretty decent moves to the upside. It's probably time to take a break. So I wouldn't be surprised if May was a red month, and we really want to come back down, at least intersect the wicks at 25, and I bet we find support on the monthly 50 right here. But a month is a long time. We could drop down all the way to 23 and recover this and be ready to go up on our next move for sure. Or we could do whatever the market wants to do, and we'll read the chart as it comes every day. But from a monthly standpoint, this is an indecision candle. It's not 100% bearish. The Ethereum chart is much more bearish. This candle looks ugly. So we closed a pretty ugly month on Ethereum, and what is most likely, what would normally happen in a structure like this is we would at least wick down to 1689. So that's definitely a really high probability. And from the structure of this chart, it would not surprise me if our candle body actually closed on this. So a month from now, we'll have to see where we actually end up. but there's definitely some room to roam as far as, we do need to pull back and get support off of our breakout, and then we can really move up into some better ranges. But this particular pullback has been much easier to read. I don't know why, and that's usually not a good thing. If the market kind of serves up a move on a platter, then either we're in for a fake out or it's really going to be strong. So I am a little nervous about how intense this drop could be. Well, I'm not nervous because I've already put in enough shorts that I am net short at this point. So I'm definitely looking for a drop, and I'm looking for a better risk reward on any of my longs that are still open. But I've neutralized most of my positions and put in a pretty big fat short on Bitcoin, expecting this to melt down. This is one of those 99% trades. You don't see these come along very often, and we kind of knew that a bull trap was coming. Today is a pretty strong confirmation. If we get all the way to the bottom of this and get down into this range, it's going to be really hard to hold this up. There's momentum coming down, and it's going to be hard to hold this line. This would be, we're talking very strong descending triangle in formation at this point. So that's kind of where we're at on Bitcoin and Ethereum. There are some interesting developments happening out there in the market. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. So this is really interesting, because when Bitcoin's dropping and Bitcoin dominance is dropping, that means alts aren't getting killed. They might be going down, but they're not getting crushed. So this is positive for alts, but I don't know how much it will go down. To be honest, this ranging in this area is pretty unusual. I mean, look at the history. Every time we've really spiked up, we've returned really fast. So to be kind of hesitating and kind of chilling out in this area is pretty unusual. You can go look at some other data points, but I don't even know if you'd really classify these as strong moves. But for us to get straight up, start ranging, and then just really get volatile up at the top, like it's unheard of in the last 2 years of history. We've just never seen it. Let me just pull it back in so you can look. Look how strange this is. Pulled up, straight down. Pulled up, straight down. Pulled up, straight down, up, down, up, down, up. Sort of ranged. I mean, this is probably the most similar, but this was at the top of a giant move. We just barely had a little move. So I don't know, like, are we at a top? It's hard to say. It looks a lot like, if we don't go up and straight down, and we have no other data points to really point to, the only ones that really kind of range at the top of a move is something that's on the top of a pretty strong move. So we may be on the way down. If that's true, alts could be in a pretty good situation. And also, if Bitcoin drops, it might just be Bitcoin. It might not drag the rest of the market with it, which is typical. So, and kind of proof of that is look at others' dominance. It's a small green day, but it is a green day. So the microcaps are pulling up some of the difference between, where's the money flowing. It's flowing the fastest out of Bitcoin, and it's flowing into other things. And it might just be that Bitcoin's dropping faster. One clue in there is that Bitcoin's down 4.15% now, and Ethereum's only down 2.35. So that's pretty big difference. And alts are going to follow Ethereum more than they're going to follow Bitcoin, since most alts have an Ethereum pair. So that's kind of an unusual thing that I spotted in the market. Here's the Bitcoin and Ethereum. After today, it almost looks like we're in a reversal. So Ethereum is looking a lot like that it'll start outpacing Bitcoin. I've been expecting this for a long time, but we've just been down in the red zone for so long. We might have done it long enough though, because this move out of the red zone, we only need to get up just a teeny bit more, half the move of today's move would get us out of the red zone. And we have increasing lows. We have higher lows coming up below us. And we've waited long enough in this area that our 50 is pretty low. So there is a pretty strong case that maybe if Bitcoin falls on its face, maybe it's just Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has outperformed everything. So it might make sense that Bitcoin's the one that needs the correction, because all along Ethereum's had the best structure, but not now. With Ethereum having a head and shoulders that's very obvious, that's definitely it's going to create some downside for Ethereum. But it doesn't have to happen as fast. Bitcoin might jump down and Ethereum might just kind of slowly make its way down. And in that case, Bitcoin dominance would continue to increase. So some interesting turns of event. I did have, so anyway, I most of my positions are in kind of a holding status. They're all mostly upside down, but I have the rest of my portfolio balanced. I did exit INJ finally. So INJ's, I finally exited this. It was a beautiful trade. Because of leverage and everything else, it ended up being a 10,000% gain. So that was pretty sweet. And from there, that's pretty much everything for today. So all eyes are on close in 2 hours. Will we flip from green to yellow? Because if so, we're on our way down. We're gonna have a pretty solid, foothold. And these are necessary. We need these so that we have footing for the next move up. If you never pull back, things get way toppy. And then instead of having a minor pullback, you have a major one that lasts 6 months to a year. And those are less fun. So I'm pretty happy to see this. I'm definitely prepared for it. We'll see if it's, how long lasting it is. But if the average comes true, we're going to drop back pretty strong. So hopefully everyone on this channel is well aware of that and planning accordingly. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So we'll catch back in tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have my office looking a little bit better. So anyway, all right, thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all watching. It's kind of amazing. I've done this for a while now, and it's neat that a couple hundred people are willing to watch what I have to say. So that's really cool. I take that as a compliment. You guys are awesome. Thanks for your support. We will catch you on the next one tomorrow. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.